Hello, and thank you so much for tuning in to the Dynamic Life Show with your host, Deronda Michelle. I'm excited about having you here today because we have a lot of ground to cover in such a short time. Yes, the show is 30 minutes, but we're going to cover every minute of this show this afternoon. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's Sunday, and I know you got some things cooking over there. I might just ask you what you cooking good looking because might need a place to stop today. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said last Sunday, I didn't ask you because I went home and I cooked my own food, but it's okay. It's another Sunday, and I still want to know what you got cooking good looking. So today we're going to be talking about some things that impact us in the whole United States. We're talking about the fact that even though September is set aside as Mental Health Awareness Month, do you know it impacts us beyond September, before, during, and beyond September? And so today we're going to be talking to you about the resources that are there, because remember, Dynamic Life is about helping you level up in life. It's about helping you step up your game. It's about helping you look and have that inner reflection to see what it is you want to do with your own life and how you can get there. And so the Dynamic Life Show serves as a resource to tap you into the community resources that are available to you, the business resources that are available to you to help you make those next steps in the right direction, in a direction that's going to help you get what you need so that you can grow, so that you can develop, and so that you can be A-OK. It's important, especially around the holidays. So many people go through so many mental and emotional challenges that they deal with as a result of feeling loneliness, or feeling perplexed, or feeling depressed, feeling oppressed, feeling circumstances above and beyond their control. And so sometimes you need to just step back and take a breather. You know, I'm not the expert, but I have an expert that's going to be sharing with you some tips of how you can manage well during this holiday season, how you can manage and tap into the resources that are available to you. Don't be ashamed. Don't be shy. I know in our community, sometimes we make it seem so taboo, but homelessness and mental health impacts all of us. Because guess what? If you don't have somebody in your family that's dealing with it, you may have heard of somebody in the community that's dealing with it. And it may impact you in your personal space. It may impact you in school. It may impact you in work. It may impact you in church. Needless to say, it may impact you while you're going down the street. You just never know. Nowadays, we have so many things going on around us, but what you do need to know is that there's a resource out there just for you. There are community resources, there are business resources, there are health and wellness resources, and we're going to tap you into those. We're going to connect you with those because you need to know how you can live a dynamic life. We'll be back with you in a moment, so stay tuned. Go and grab your pen and paper and be ready to take some notes as we drop some nuggets that's going to impact your life in a positive way. Here's the opportunity to go and run and grab your pen and paper. All right, see you in a moment.
We must secure our families. KFG Life Insurance Specialist is a company that partnered with 15 of the top life insurance companies to ensure you get the best pricing, knowledge, and products to suit your family needs. Some people believe that term insurance is better than whole life insurance, while others feel the complete opposite. Some may feel like universal life is the way to go, and others may feel it's better to have a whole life policy. The truth is, neither of the products are better. One just may be more suitable for your family. Our life insurance specialists are not biased, as they are partnered with several life insurance companies. This ensures our clients get the best pricing, education, and products that are suitable for their families. Let KFG Life Insurance Specialist make these decisions easier for you and your family. Our office is located at Security Square Mall, next to Burlington, in the CoyoteMan Show Network. Please call to make an appointment at 443-400-5224 or go to www.lifeinsurancespecialist.org. That's www.lifeinsurancespecialist.org. Let KFG Life Insurance Specialist help you prepare your family in the present, because the future is not promised. Act now.
Hello. So are you tuned in? Do you have your pen? Do you have your paper? We're going to be dropping some nuggets, and we don't want you to miss a thing. Go and grab somebody who is also impacted by what we're talking about today, mental health. Like I said, it reaches beyond September. We may have set aside September as a social cause and a social issue, but mental health impacts us every day of our lives. It goes just beyond a month. And so it's an issue that many find taboo. They don't want to address it. You know, we got to whisper behind closed doors about it. We got to tiptoe around the person about it. But no, it needs to be addressed, because guess what? When you learn to address something head on and let it know you can run, but you can't hide, that's the way that you can unveil it and reveal it so that it can be dealt with. And so as a result of that, we're going to be having mental health professionals on the Dynamic Life Show on a regular and consistent basis. Look, it's around us day in and day out, so we want to have it addressed, because there's not one thing that's going to resolve everything. And so we want to consistently share some resources with you on a regular and reoccurring basis, so that you can know, and your loved one can know, and your coworker can know, and your whoever it is, your bestie can know that there is help and there are resources that they are going to share. Now, Miss Dr. Sylvia, I say Miss, Dr. Sylvia Huntley and I, we go way back. So I say Miss, I say Sister Sylvia, but Dr. Sylvia Huntley is in this world every day, and she's going to share some resources with you. So welcome, Dr. Sylvia Huntley.
Thank you, Deronda. I'm happy and pleased to be here.
Awesome. And one thing I didn't say is Dr. Sylvia Huntley is also an author, and so she's going to also be sharing information with you about her book and how she came to have that to offer you today. And so, Dr. Sylvia Huntley, we found out that mental health is a real issue. It's a very great challenge, and so many times it's taboo. Why is that?
It is, because of the stigma that people have heard being reared in their family. Sometimes people would say, what happens in the house stays in the house, and especially for people of color. And so because of that, they've kept secrets, they've kept what was happening in the home and happening in their lives right there in the household. And unfortunately, it has affected a lot of the youth.
Yeah.
And I work at the University of Maryland School of Medicine, and we have a division for children and adolescents. But the one thing that I love is we have a National Center for School Mental Health. Okay. And it helps us to look at what is happening in the school setting, and especially during the impact of COVID, when a lot of the youth had to be in the house 24/7. And some of them went through a lot of anxiety, depression, etc. But beyond a lot of that, I heard what you were saying in the beginning of the show about upcoming holidays, and it makes me think about the youth, and it makes me think about families, and especially those who are homeless. And when you have a second, let's talk more even about the homeless population.
Absolutely. They are greatly impacted. Homelessness is one of the major issues, and I believe even last week, as we talked about the food pantry, we talked about the fact that Baltimore has so many people who go hungry. Well, guess what? I did not read the stats on this, but recently, but I read the stats on this a few months ago, how homelessness is such a huge number. Mental health challenges are a huge number. The numbers are more than really what we could imagine. The numbers are growing, and here's the thing: the numbers are consistently and constantly growing. Can you address how we are currently as it relates to that homelessness and the impact from mental health?
Sure. I was doing research back in 2018 and prior to that, based upon what I was doing in graduate school. And during that time, according to the National Alliance to End Homelessness, there were over 564,000 people who experienced homelessness at any given night. And out of that, the children who were homeless, that is the part that I really wanted to hone in on and look at children who were homeless. There were over 36,000 children who were homeless. And the problem being homeless, especially for children, it can elevate the propensity for adverse childhood experience, which I looked at that in research as well, which leads to developmental and health problems throughout their lifespan. And that caused me to want to dig deeper in the youth, especially in Baltimore, who were homeless. And what I did was visit a shelter, and there were 275 homeless people living there. Men and females, no children were allowed, but a lot of the homeless population there did have children. And I was able to get my foot in the door, meet with the director, and meet with the homeless population to really assess why they were homeless and to see what the city of Baltimore could do to help them. And some of them did have jobs as well, but they still experience homelessness.
Yes, and it's funny that you mentioned that. It's amazing because, you know, we tend to think that every homeless person is that person that's living under the bridge right now, that's walking around with the shopping cart and the old clothes. But somebody next door to us is home. You know what I'm saying? Not next door to us in the house, but that could be standing next door to us in the grocery store.
Absolutely.
They could be experiencing homelessness.
Absolutely. It could be that they lost their job.
Yeah, and those classmates sometimes are experiencing homelessness. Can you talk to us about how you address that issue in your book?
Yeah, so what happened is I wanted to look at what causes some people to be homeless, because our own sometimes humanistic viewpoint would be that that person homeless must have an alcohol problem or a drug problem, and that is the cause. But years ago, I would go down to the shelter. It was located on the 5th floor of it was YWCA years ago. And there were homeless women there, and they had their children. And so that really touched my heart to want to investigate more and help children who were homeless. And also, it just showed, like one day I was looking at the news and a house in Westport at that time caught on fire. And that young girl who became homeless happened to be in my daughter's class. So that morning I see the fire. That afternoon I go to the shelter and there she is in there. And it just made me have a heart to really reach children, well, all people, but especially children who were homeless. And from that experience and the research I did on my master level and doctoral level really made me look at a young girl. I'm going to call her name Embrace. It's not her real name. But the name of the book is called Embracing You. And with so many children who are homeless, Embrace is a young 8-year-old girl who is faced with embarrassment, sadness, and confused with and she reaches out eventually to a school teacher, but she was homeless because her mom had lost her job, and the two of them were living in a car. And we find that so often that children who are in some of the school settings are homeless, and yet other people may not know about them. But that young girl Embrace, and the reason why I call it Embracing You is because I wanted to build and encourage her self-esteem. That even though she was homeless, she was still loved. But unfortunately, she was being bullied because, you know, she wasn't able to change her clothes every day, and she had a certain smell, not being able to bathe. And so one day while sitting in the classroom, the teacher told the students, get ready to go to the cafeteria, but Embrace put her head down on the table. And what the teacher was finding is that some of her classwork was lagging, and she found, you know, the little girl seemed to be very sad. So that day when the students were going to the cafeteria, Embrace did not. And the teacher approached her and asked what was going on, and she finally reveals what's happening, that she's living inside of a car and she's homeless. But the teacher did not have the authority to approach the mom. You know, she had to go by, you know, the correct procedure in school settings, but she did ask permission. And then the teacher, her name is Miss Brown, she shares with Embrace. She herself was one time homeless because her mom had lost her job.
Wow.
And with that opening up, with the teacher sharing her experience and said, look at me now, I'm a teacher.
Yes.
And with all of that put together, it encouraged the heart of Embrace to open up more. And the teacher was able to find some resources for her mom, etc. But that just goes to show how many other children are sitting in classrooms and they don't have shelter.
Yes.
And many times people don't know the secret that they are hiding.
Right. And can you speak to that? Like, if you're a teacher out there and you're listening to this Dynamic Life show and this segment that's touching on mental health and its impact on homelessness, and the fact that kids are experiencing this day in and day out all across America, not just Baltimore, not just Maryland where we're based. But Dr. Sylvia, can you hand me your book? I want to encourage any teacher. Again, she said it's called Embracing You. If you have students and you're noticing some different signs about them, you're noticing the sadness, you're noticing the work is lagging, you're noticing that they're kind of maybe standoffish, or maybe that their clothes having odor. You know, there are some things that we can do within our realm. Maybe those, I know somebody told me that, you know, we keep a box in the classroom with snacks and we keep some clothes in there. There are certain things that we can do within our limitations to let that child know that somebody cares, to let that child know that you can be the best you and overcome this challenge that's temporary. We pray, God, that it's temporary for them. It might be due to that fire in the home. It might be due to that they had nobody else to turn to. Thank you, Dr. Sylvia. It might be that. And so you touched on a lot of things. You touched on the fact that the teacher paid attention to the signs.
Right.
You talked on the fact that that parent in the book had a car, but many of them do not have transportation.
Correct.
And you also talked on the fact that this child, as they was approached the right way, they began to open up.
Right.
You know, and so can you talk to some of the ways that we can maybe handle this situation with care?
Yeah, sometimes we have to be aware of some of the signs we see. And I'm going to give an example with Embrace. Well, first of all, observation. And I think a lot of the teachers are being observant what's happening in the classroom setting. And this young girl who had good grades at one time, and the grades begin to fall. And sometimes that's a sign that let's look a little bit deeper to see why the student is no longer engaged with her academics. And then just to being observant of the clothes that the young lady, the young girl was wearing, and noticing that it was the same thing and they were dirty. And even when I was placed as an intern into the school, I was in a couple of Baltimore City schools as a social work intern. I began to do some observation myself. It was part of our training to watch everything about the child that we are trying to help serve, or just see what's happening in the classroom. Many times I would go into the classroom just to do observation, see if anyone needed any type of assistance, and especially during the upcoming holiday time. I ran a girls group and I ran a boys group. Well, I should say now young ladies group and young men's group in the school setting. And so just being observant and having them share with me what is going on. And the one thing, when you begin to have students open up to you, you have to do different strategies. And one thing that I would do to find out deeper what was going on is allow them to teach me how to play cards. And we would play cards and they would share more and more, or talk amongst themselves. And that would give me an ear to hear what was happening in their lives, and being able to provide services, whether it was to their legal guardian or whomever the caregiver would be, is how can I help? I hear what is happening. How can I assist?
Yes, it starts with that level of compassion. It starts with how Dr. Sylvia is saying, she said a key word there, ladies and gentlemen. She says serve. And so as she's serving this community, we're going to have her come and talk about how she's living that dynamic life by serving this community of people that are around us day in and day out. So when we come back, she's going to tell you about some resources that help you live that dynamic life and how she does the same. We'll be back in a moment. Thank you for tuning in. Call somebody. It's getting ready to matter. Call.
We must secure our families. KFG Life Insurance Specialist is a company that partnered with 15 of the top life insurance companies to ensure you get the best pricing, knowledge, and products to suit your family needs. Some people believe that term insurance is better than whole life insurance, while others feel the complete opposite. Some may feel like universal life is the way to go, and others may feel it's better to have a whole life policy. The truth is, neither of the products are better. One just may be more suitable for your family. Our life insurance specialists are not biased, as they are partnered with several life insurance companies. This ensures our clients get the best pricing, education, and products that are suitable for their families. Let KFG Life Insurance Specialist make these decisions easier for you and your family. Our office is located at Security Square Mall, next to Burlington, in the CoyoteMan Show Network. Please call to make an appointment at 443-400-5224 or go to www.lifeinsurancespecialist.org. That's www.lifeinsurancespecialist.org. Let KFG Life Insurance Specialist help you prepare your family in the present, because the future is not promised. Act now.
Awesome. Thank you again for tuning in today to the CoyoteManOnline.com/dynamic life. And so if you're just tuning in, we've been talking about mental health and the challenges for our community that go along with this very serious issue, how it impacts homelessness and how children are impacted by the same thing. That's like a double whammy when you got that mental health issues going on plus homelessness, but it can be overcome. And so we are talking to Dr. Sylvia Huntley. She has been serving in this community for a number of years, and she's going to tell you how you can have these resources that will help you live that dynamic life. Dr. Sylvia, what can somebody do? What resources out there for them to help them through this? I know you said University of Maryland, and we have you. So let our listeners know how they can get in touch.
We have a dynamic website. I work again with the Department of Psychiatry, Division of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry. And under that division, we have a National Center for School Mental Health. Okay. And the website is schoolmentalhealth.org, O-R-G. All one word, schoolmentalhealth.org, O-R-G. Awesome. And when you go to that website, you can click on resources and find all type of resources to be able to help in the school setting, in the household setting, in the community, etc. And the other thing I wanted to say about the book, Embracing You, you can find it at Amazon. Embracing You. Awesome. And if you ever need to reach out, if the community or anyone need to contact me directly, I'm going to give my email address, which is SHUNTLEY at SOM, School of Medicine, SOM.U Maryland, the letter U, Maryland, and Maryland is spelled out, .edu. It's a long email, Huntley, HUNTLEY at som.umaryland.edu. But if you contact me, I can put the person into with the connection to the right person to really help. Or I can go to the website with someone and pull down information they may need. And we have wonderful website information, webinars that have been given. And the one thing that I love is we had some youth actually present in a webinar the impact of COVID and how they were feeling going through, the situation of being home for a long period of time, not being able to be in the school setting, because for some students, school is a safe haven for them. And they feel that safety when they are in the school, when they are amongst their friends. And then when the impact of COVID and they had to be home, it's like, oh no, they missed a lot of friends. And especially for those that may have even had a mental health diagnoses, and then having to be there online, sitting, doing work, it became a challenge for those as well. But I am happy to put people into, make that right connection with them, the right resources, and see what I can do to help a child have a better quality of life.
I was going to ask you, is there a particular age group that you all work with, or is there an age limit, or?
K through 12.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
the early childhood youth, as well as all the way up to the 12th grade. And I do want to say that I love working even with the those going into a community college or a four-year university. I teach as well, and I teach child psychology and developmental psychology. So I teach a lot of different psychology courses so that I'm able to even find more information for the community as well.
You heard that, college students. You've been in school for a whole year now. You're not sure what major you want to go into. Listen, our children need help, and that's your way that you can give back by getting the knowledge, getting the intelligent resources that you can have to share with youth in our community. So I'm excited to share this resource. Can you give just your email again and the website, or just the website again? Yes.
And it's so important, especially with the upcoming holidays, and people may feel overwhelmed. They may feel stressed and, feel certain demands on them during the holiday time, even for the parent or the caregiver, etc. So it's schoolmentalhealth.org, O-R-G.
Wow. And I remember I was about 12 or 13 when I witnessed somebody that had a nervous breakdown. It was an older woman who lived in our community, and she happened to be related to some friends that I was close with. And I just remember being so terrified at 11, 12 years old, witnessing somebody who had lost control, and it was because she was under so much stress. We don't want you to get to that over the hill moment where you have so much stress. Let's attack this head on before it gets full throttle, before it gets to the breaking point. You have this resource that you can check into before you get to that breaking point. Don't let yourself go there. Spread the word to somebody they stressed out, they dealing with some issues, and you've been watching them. Don't watch them go into a slow descent of downhill. Let them know that you're there. Approach them with compassion, and they will sense that you really care. And we want to let them know that schoolmentalhealth.org is there to assist them. .org is there to assist them. And even as we talk to Mahisa Green about mental health challenges. So like I said, we're going to continue to approach this conversation. It ain't taboo up in here. We want you to get the help you live that dynamic life. So Dynamic Life with Deronda Michelle is going to be here to serve you with the resources. If you need some information, reach out to us in the chat. We'll make sure you get the information and the resources. We'll be typing out the resources there so that you can know there's somebody there. There is help there. You are not alone. You're not walking this alone. And with the holidays approaching, you don't have to be alone. We are here for you. And I want you to come back next week. We're going to be talking more great things, providing more great resources. Stay in touch with us at CoyoteManOnline.com/dynamic life. Of course, again, you can reach out to me at Deronda.com. We have some things going on. I'm in a Fab Over 40 contest. Fab Over 40 contest. And so I want you to go there and find Deronda McDuffie and vote. I just made the top 10. So I want to make the top 5, y'all. And so we're going to see what's going to happen. But meanwhile, I want to let you know, Dynamic Life with Deronda Michelle is here to help you level up. We're here to encourage you. We're here to inspire you. We're here to uplift you and make sure you're tied in and tuned in to the resources that are here for you in your community. God bless you. See you next week. And are the Ravens playing today? That's all I want to know, so I can go home and root for my team. Woo! Y'all be blessed. Take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes.